sun salutations. So before we get into learning how to practice sun salutations as well as learn how to teach sun salutations, let's talk a little bit about why they are important. So sun salutation is a complete sequence of movements that warm the muscles and the joints. In Sanskrit, sun salutation is called Surya Namaskar, which means graceful, beloved salute to the sun. The sun was central in human life and thought in ancient India, and every morning the sun was worshipped. The sun was a symbol of the great light and the pure insight that people hoped to find in themselves. Traditionally, you closed your eyes just after having seen the morning sun in the hope of finding the same light and strength in yourself. Sun salutations warm up all the cells in our body, nourish them with oxygen. The heat that's generated in a sun salutation eliminates poisonous substances and impurities in the muscles, organ, skin, mind, and soul. So just a few benefits of sun salutations. Standing postures ground us to the earth. They build body awareness and they help us to find our center. Forward bend and halfway lift elongate our spine, stretch our hamstrings, and cleanse our digestive systems. Plank and four-limb staff engage the muscles in the arms, the shoulders, the chest, and the abdomen. Our upward facing poses or our chest openers stretch our upper body as they open our chest and free our breathing. Downward facing dog works muscles in the entire body and calms our nervous system. The sequence itself generates heat to cleanse our body and our mind. Literally, it is meditation in motion. Gets our heart pumping, increases our circulation, takes our body through its full range of motion. So something that I love about a sun salutation is it is a complete practice in and of itself. So if you learn how to do a sun salutation, that can be your yoga today or any day that you choose. You can work hard in a sun salutation, or you can slow it down and make it a little bit more meditative. So sun salutation for me really is two parts. There's the top part and the bottom part. So I'm going to break it down so that we understand how the two parts are separate from each other, because they can be broken apart and taught separately or practiced separately. They can be used as transition points within a yoga class, or you can combine the two together and do a full sun salutation. So because we're looking at that foundational level of yoga, we're going to learn a modified version of a sun salutation. Alright, so let's get started. So, top part of a sun salutation starts from mountain pose. So you're going to find your mountain pose, standing up nice and tall. Take your feet about hip width distance apart, or about the size of 1 to 2 fists in between your feet. You want to find the four corners of your feet, rooting down beneath the big toe mound, the pinky toe mound, and both edges of your heels. And then from that foundation, you want to consider stacking your joints for alignment and stability. So the knees are on top of the ankles, the hips are on top of the knees. We're going to go ahead and lift our shoulders up, roll the shoulders back and down. Maybe turn the hands forward and gently slide the thumbs back. And then think about lengthening up through the crown of your head. So find all of the length in your spine, rising up through the crown of your head, softening the chin a little bit so that the neck stays nice and long, and being mindful to keep our core engaged. So once we have our mountain pose established and we bring our breath into the equation, I want you to think about inhaling, bringing the breath up the front side of your body, and exhaling and releasing the breath down the back side of your body. So really sink into a rhythm with your breath. Nice deep inhale up the front side and exhale down the back side. And let's do that one more time. Inhaling nice and deep and exhaling and releasing. Awesome. And then together we're going to inhale for our tall mountain. We're going to reach our arms out wide. We're going to bend our knees, hinge at our hips, and come down into that first forward fold. So you want to keep the knees as bent as you need to keep your hamstrings safe, and allow the head to hang down towards the floor. On your next inhale, place your hands on your shins and flatten your back in half lift. Shoulders are away from the ears, spine is nice and long, core is engaged. We're reaching back with our tailbone, reaching forward with the crown of our head.
And then on our exhale, softening the knees again, releasing all the way down. So the belly can rest on the thighs, the head reaches down towards the floor. And then bend those knees a little deeper, tuck that tummy in, and inhale, rise all the way to the top, and exhale your hands to heart center. Good. So let's do that a couple of times, just thinking about flowing with that breath. So from your tall mountain, or from your mountain pose, standing up nice and tall, take a nice deep breath, and then inhale, rise up, soften the knees, exhale, forward fold. Hands on your shins, flat back, look forward, exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, inhale, rise up, and exhale, hands to your heart. And again, inhale, rise up, exhale, softening the knees, forward fold. Hands on your shins, inhaling, half lift, exhaling for forward fold. Bend the knees, inhale, rise up, and exhale, hands to your heart center. Beautiful. All right, so that's the top part of our sun salutation. Now let's look at the bottom part. And we're gonna come down onto our mats and let's move into child's pose. So take your take your hips back towards your heels and reach your hands nice and far forward. And for this child's pose, because we're gonna move from this position, think about keeping the thighs parallel to each other as opposed to having the knees out wide. So the belly's gonna come to rest on the thighs and we're gonna reach our hands nice and far forward, making sure that those shoulders are away from our ears. Good. Let's look up at our hands. And as we inhale, we're going to come forward in a modified plank. So notice in your modified plank that your shoulders are away from your ears, your belly is not sagging towards the floor, and your hips are not way up here, kind of in tabletop position. You want to find a plank position. So nice and strong here, shoulders away from the ears, core is engaged. When you're ready, think about bringing your chest forward between your arms, tuck your elbows in tight, and then hinge at the elbows, lowering yourself all the way to the mat. And when you get down to the mat, for the most part, your wrists are underneath your elbows. That's called high to low push-up. We're going to find the tops of our feet, and we're going to begin to press into the tops of our feet. We're going to draw our hands towards our hips so that their heart comes a little bit forward, and then lift your forehead and lift your chest just a little bit. So when you come into this position, you should be able to move your hands and not fall out of your back bend in your cobra pose because your back muscles are engaged and active and the front side of your body is stretching. Good. Now when you're ready, take a nice deep inhale, and on your exhale, press all the way back to child's pose. Big stretch. So we're going to move that just a little bit quicker. Everybody look at your hands, and on your inhale, come forward in that nice strong modified plank. Bring your chest through your arms, tuck your elbows in tight, hinging at the elbows, lowering all the way down, and then lifting the gaze, looking forward in your cobra pose, and then exhaling to your child's pose. Wonderful. So this time, let's connect that a little bit more with our breath. So look at your hands. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, lift to your cobra pose, and exhale to your child's pose. Nice big stretch. Awesome. All right, so that's the bottom half of your sun salutation. And again, you can work that into a sequence in your practice as a way to help your students build some upper body strength and help to build some core strength. Remember, at that foundational level, we want to enable our participants to develop the strength at their own pace, and that requires them understanding how to move their body through that sequence before we take them there from a full plank and lower them down. All right, so now we've done top half, bottom half. Now let's put it all together. So I'm going to step to the side of my mat, and we're going to start in our mountain pose. Again, establish that foundation, stack joint on top of joint for stability, lift the shoulders up, release those shoulder blades down the back. Turn the hands forward and the thumbs slightly back, tuck that tummy, lengthen the spine, and find your breath. Good, and then together we're gonna breathe and we're gonna move. So we're gonna inhale, rise up, exhale, soften the knees, forward fold. Hands on the shins, inhale, half lift, exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees. Step your right foot back, your left foot back. Bring your knees down so you're already in your modified plank. Come forward, lower all the way down, and then inhale to your cobra. Lift your forehead and your chest. Exhale to child's pose. And then curl the toes, lift the knees to downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, walk your feet to meet your hands. Soften your knees, forward fold. Hands on your shins, inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then bend those knees, tuck that tummy. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to our heart. Good, let's do that one more time. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, forward fold. Soften the knees. Hands on the shins, inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, step the left foot back, the right foot to plank, and bring the knees down. Inhale, forward. Exhale, down. Inhale to your up pose. And exhale to your child's pose. From child's pose, curling the toes and lifting the knees, downward facing dog. Looking at your hands and walking to the top of your mat. Soften your knees, forward fold. Hands on your shins, inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees and inhale, rise up, and exhale, hands at your heart. Awesome. Okay, so once you have the mechanics of doing a sun salutation, then it is kind of fun just to add a little bit of your own music and simply flow with your breath, trusting your body and your breath. So I'm going to see if I can add some music and flow through a few sun salutations. Let's see how this goes. Breath and movement. Meditation in motion.
enjoyed that. I hope you found some great music to flow through those postures with. Have a wonderful day.